Okay, I'm going to start. Just want to say hello, everybody, and I hope you all are doing well and are healthy and happy. And I would like to say welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining this meeting for Dharma teaching and practice. And I'm back, and teachings will continue. And I'm really happy to see everyone again. And I'm very happy to talk with you about Dharma and practice meditation. So thank you for coming and join us today. And now, the most important, now, the first of all, as you know, when you come to the class, you listen to the Dharma and practice the teachings, Dharma, you must be motivated by bodhicitta, the altruistic aspirations. And I want to say this again, from the Mahayana Buddhist point of view, without bodhicitta, if our motivation is selfish, then no matter how much we study, no matter how much we practice the Dharma, it cannot be really beneficial. It cannot be effective. It cannot be meaningful. As you know, as Bhakti Rinpoche said in his Words of My Perfect Teacher, usually ordinary people like us, our original intentions are always really, really, really uncertain and selfish, meaning, you know, right now you are happy, and then somehow you are not happy. It's very, very uncertain. That's just very normal. So we should always try to know our intention, and should always have the best motivation possible. So please take a moment and correct your motivation before we start the teaching, before we do anything. Correct your motivation. That is the most important matter. And that is very, very important for all of us, at least myself. I consider this is the most important. Whenever I do, whatever I do, you know, before you start your activities, you make sure that you have the right motivation. And today's topic, I'm going to talk about one of the Tārā prayers, because we have not stopped Tārā practice since coronavirus started spreading. And it's definitely helping, because so far, none of our Sangha members have died from coronavirus as far as I can tell. So therefore, I'm giving this teaching today for as an offering and repay kindness of Mother Tārā. She took, care of us in such a difficult situation. So I'm giving this teaching as an offering and repay her kindness. And also my appreciation to all of you to continue to practice Tārā. So thank you for doing Tārā practice. We have not stopped Tārā practice since the coronavirus began. So still we're doing this, and please keep practice until this virus disappear, okay? So please come in and join the Tārā practice. Just visit on the website. There are schedules there. So if you don't know what day, what time, please visit our website to find out the schedule, and please join the Tārā practice. It's really good for yourself as well as good for really everyone, the whole world. If you have, as I said, if you have right motivation for doing Tārā practice. So just to keep that in your mind, and please keep practice. And as you know, because this pandemic, the coronavirus is so bad, it changed the whole world, and people really freaked out. People lost their job. People, felt very lonely. People worried about getting sick. People are struggling in this situation. And unfortunately, we still don't know how long we're going to have this situation. So there are so many uncertainties, right? At this moment in our life, day-to-day life. But also, we all have life, and we have to do things we need to do day-to-day in our lives, right? So do not be afraid of this situation. I remember the first time the coronavirus started, people are just afraid, freak out, because then you go to grocery stores and you bought all this, paper towels and all this thing. People just have no idea. But I found out that if you are afraid of this situation, and you think, you can't do anything, I can't go there, I can't do this, you can't do anything, then you are just stuck. And then you cannot possibly enjoy your day-to-day life. Then you are living in fear, panic, worry, and lonely, So don't be afraid of this situation. At the same time, I think you need to do whatever you need to, but at the same time, you have to be careful. I just want to say this, now there is this new virus coming, and it will be very bad for sure. But just don't be afraid, and whatever you need to do in your daily life. But at the same time, please wear mask and distance, all this kind of thing. Just be careful and just be aware. Then no problem. Then you don't have to stop anything. What I'm doing that, So, because otherwise, then this we don't know how long, we have this kind of situation. I think maybe it's been almost like now 2 years, but now still, new virus coming. So it's not in pretty soon. So I think we have to do whatever we want. But just what I'm saying is don't be afraid. Otherwise, then you are living in your daily life in the fear, panic, and anxiety, all of that, not good for you, for us, So we have to understand how to manage our lives in this kind of circumstances. And we have to understand, the most important is, I think we have to understand what is the meaning of living. That's the thing. What does living your life, day-to-day life, mean to you? Ask this question yourself. What is the meaning of living, Does it mean we have all these sufferings, right, that we go through, such as, fear, anxiety, afraid, hope, expectations, all that sort of confusion, all of that. Is that our life? Living day to day? Or does living mean we are completely free from all of this kind of suffering? So what does living your life in day-to-day life mean to you? If we don't know what the meaning of living is, then basically we don't have a good life. Our mind and brain is totally capable of understanding the meaning of life, the nature of life. But we are constantly struggling with each other, right? That means we are not really trying to understand each other. We're not trying to understand what is the meaning of living and what is meaning of life. As you know, we harm each other instead of we helping each other. For example, you say something that is not nice about me, for example, that hurt me, right? So we sort of harm each other. And for example, I have this, myself, I have this sort of self-image about myself. I think I am a great teacher. I think I'm an intelligent person. I think I'm very clever. I think I studied Buddhism for so many years with these amazing masters, and I have this kind of, high expectations. I have all these ideas, right? And put them together, and I created this selfish image about myself. And I think I'm really good. I'm a good, best person. I'm good. So I have this sort of, I created this image, and then you come along and tell me that I'm not that good teacher. I'm not an intelligent person. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. I even don't know how to teach, Westerners. So you say these things to me, then I'm hurt. I'm hurt by your words. I'm hurt by your actions, because I have this great picture about myself as being a great teacher. And I'm attached to it. I have a grasp into it, right? Therefore, that's the root of my hurt. Same thing to you. You think you are a great business person. You think you are a great student. You think you are a great worker, intelligent, etc. You created all of this image about yourself as being a great person, and somebody tell you that you're not that kind of person, you're a bad person, then you're hurt, right? We hurt each other all the time because we don't know exactly really like what is meaning of life or living every day. That's the root of hurt, because this selfishness, people are so selfish. I am the best. He or she is, I'm better than them. We create this. This is just thoughts. Our thoughts created this. If you go into like investigate more, you can't find it, but you just create it. This image, this picture. So then why? The question is, why do I create this image of myself? Why? Ask yourself, why do you create this image about yourself? You are the best. Why you think you are the best? Why you think you are the most important person in the world? Why? It's because out of the selfish mind. My selfish mind says that, oh, you should have this great image of yourself because it will protect you, it will save your life, it will make your life meaningful, it will make your life the best. Then, oh, that's right. Yeah, I am the best. Then you create all of that. Otherwise, if there is not sort of this whole picture of yourself, then you think, what am I? Who am I? When you ask, who are you? You are all this image, this picture, all of this idea that you create, and then you put them together into your brain, your mind, then you think that's me. You see, all of these ideas are, out of self-grasping, and then self-grasping, of course, Buddhist point of view, come from ignorance. So the thing is, how do you, how do you reduce or eliminate the whole picture of yourself as being a great person? Even you want to investigate, if you want to reduce these thoughts, that's up to you. Or is it possible to not have this picture of yourself at all? Think about that. Like, if you don't have this image, these ideas, this picture of yourself, then what is left about yourself? Think about that. Can we live our lives without the whole picture of ourselves? Can we? You have to go into it, go deep. I know all of you understand these things intellectually. That's the problem. Intellectual understanding doesn't solve the problem. So each and every one of you, and include myself, we need to go deeper and deep understanding, sort of level of understanding. Who am I? And can we live our lives without this picture of myself, this selfish, out of the selfish mind? don't just to give your answer right away. Don't just give your like conclusion right away. Oh, I do this because of that and this. Oh, I don't want to investigate this. And don't say like, that kind of conclusions. Make conclusions right away. Just to go into it, think about, investigate it without find the result. Just go into, then maybe you will see something different. You never know. Because I think this is very important, because as long as these ideas, there's this image of ourselves, we're going to suffer in. We're going to get hurt. Somebody is going to hurt me, and I will not be able to control what other people say about myself. I cannot control. And some people like me, some people don't like me, for sure. Nobody can make everybody happy. So some people complain about myself, something about what I say, something my teaching, whatever, something my, somebody is going to hurt me, and I cannot control that. But if I don't have this selfish idea about myself, then nobody can hurt me. I don't have that kind of image. Whatever you want to say, just that's yours. Then I become like the empty space. You can cut the empty space how much you wanted to, or no matter how sharp your knife is, you cannot do anything about it. Then I'll be totally free. So in order to eliminate getting hurt, this is the big problem in our day-to-day life. We hurt each other by words, by actions. We hurt each other. Why am I hurt? Because, as I said, that picture, that ideas in my mind, that's why I hurt. You hurt me because you think you are better than me. So we hurt. We're not totally free. So in order to eliminate getting hurt, your mind must be empty of all these ideas and imaginations. Then you can see the truth of your life. If you don't have these ideas, then what you see? You will see the truth of your life. And that truth is something that is really extraordinary. And it is there with you all the time, living. And every day, that truth, if you recognize that truth. As long as you have these all ideas in your mind, you don't recognize that truth, the truth of your life. You don't see the beauty of the life because you're just too much garbage in your mind. So therefore, our mind must be empty of all those selfish ideas and negative emotions to look at that truth. You can think of it like, taking out the trash, clear your mind, all of that garbage. So then you can see the truth of your life. Once you see the truth, then you have a tremendous sort of energy, and that energy it's limitless. But we don't have that kind of life. At this moment. we have is sometimes the life is full, but sometimes life is empty. Sometimes life is beneficial, sometimes it's harmful, sometimes it's joyful, sometimes it's lonely. So it's always uncertain, meaning up and down. This is what we call life. This is what we call living, right? But actually not, if you go deeper. But we are very depend on those conditions. As long as we are living our lives depends on those conditions, the selfish ideas, then we don't have freedom. So anyway, I think that is very important to know before we start the teaching, because the teaching is about our life, right? Nothing else. So after we finish the teaching today, take a moment and think about your life. What is actually meaning of life? What is living every single day? I'm sure you know all of that, but maybe just intellectual understanding. That's the problem. That's a big problem. Intellectual understanding is first step, but then if you stack that, just living all this, your knowledge and intellectual level, then you have a problem. So you have to go deeper. Not follow what I said, not follow the books you are reading, just yourself. You have to go deep inside of yourself and then try to find out these things. Okay, I think that's important. Now, this Tārā prayer, today I'm going to teach you, is written by Ratna Lingpa. Maybe you know him because he's very, very well-known and famous teacher. So I'm not going to talk about him in detail here, but I will tell you a little bit of him. Ratna Lingpa was a very famous treasure revealer, Tertun in Tibet. He was the incarnation of one of the 25 disciples of Padmasambhava. And he had pure visions of Padmasambhava 25 times in his life. And when he was 27, he had the first vision of Padmasambhava. And at that time, Padmasambhava gave him permission to reveal the treasure teachings that he had been taught in his previous life as one of the 25 disciples. And since then, he reviewed a lot of treasure teachings. It still exists in Tibetan language. And this prayer, Tārā prayer, is one of them. So it has a great blessing. That's that. And now, before we go through this prayer, I would like to talk a little bit about Tārā herself, because we know Tārā, right? Tārā, Tārā, Tārā. But maybe we don't know, you don't know where Tārā comes from originally, comes from. There are lots of searches. There's lots of histories about her, but I usually believe myself, story of Tara, a long time ago, there was a Buddha called Buddha Ngada. Ngada means, Nga means drum, Da means sound. So Ngada means sound of the drum, kind of like that. So during that time, there was also king who has a daughter called Pomo Yeshidawa in Tibetan. Pomo means daughter, Yeshi is wisdom, Dawa means moon. So she had a genuine sort of devotion in the Buddha. I'm trying to, like, a long story make short, okay, here. So one time she said in front of the Buddha and generate her bodhicitta. This is very important. We do that. I hope you all do generate bodhicitta and take the bodhisattva vow each and every day, so that one day you will be able to liberate yourself, achieve your goal. That's important. Anyway, so Tara generated bodhicitta and he accomplished her wishes, her goals, and attained full enlightenment in a woman's body to help through, the physical form of a female woman. So Pomo Yeshidawa, the daughter of the king, became Tara because of generate bodhicitta, and what we call a female Buddha, right? As you know, Tara, the name Tara itself means liberation. Dolma in Tibetan, it means mother of liberation, mother of liberation. Liberation is possible when we, as I said, when we eliminate the selfish mind completely and totally. And that is what liberation is. Unhappiness is the creation of a selfish mind. And if we diminish that negative mind, or reduce, at least reduce, diminish is maybe too strong, but maybe reduce the negative mind, the selfish mind, then we can overcome all problems. And then we will be able to liberate ourselves eventually over the time. Don't expect overnight, right? That's the problem, you Westerners, just don't expect right away. Over the time, take your time, just reduce every single day. Observe what you're doing. Be aware of your thoughts. Are you selfish, or are you very like like you become almost like bodhisattva? Just take time, observe yourself, be aware. That's all you need. I mean, do you think is it possible to eliminate your selfish mind? I mean, it's very clear. The selfish mind is the root of the problem, root of the suffering. That's clear. But do you believe you will be able to liberate yourself? Do you think it's possible to live in this world without selfish mind at all? Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible without selfish mind at all? And still you are in this samsara, this world. Do you think it's possible? I mean, it's very clear that as long as our mind are captivated by selfishness, there is no total freedom. That's for sure. And there's no self-liberation because there's no freedom from this, what do you call it? Negative thoughts and whatever. So I think it's very important for us try to understand ourselves. Actually, we don't understand ourselves. Try to understand, it's very important, try to, reduce selfish mind. And at least be aware of it. If you can reduce the selfish mind, I mean, it's so powerful. This mind, the selfish mind is so powerful because it's so strong. But try to, I think, as a practitioner, the most important matter is, try to reduce the selfish mind. That's all, actually. Nothing else. That's the practice. That's the meditation. You have to bring that every single day and day to and in your life. There's nothing like separation. This is meditation. This is my word life. Nothing like that. So you have to be aware of what you're doing. If you observe yourself, then you meditate all the time. So now the Tārā, we're talking about Tārā. Tārā is a deity practice, right? Deity practice. So when you try to practice a deity, in this case like a Tārā, you should always understand that the essence of each deity is simply your own Buddha nature, the basic, Buddha nature. If you don't understand that, then there is no such thing as practice, accomplish a deity. If you don't understand that there is no real connection, then you are creating actually a so-called deity out of your selfish mind. And when you practice a deity, that means you're trying to recognize yourself as the deity. That means you have to forget about yourself as an ordinary being. And you have to recognize your own Buddha nature. That's how you practice deity. But when I say Buddha nature, many people would wonder, how do I know that I have Buddha nature? Because day to day, all I have is this negative emotions. All I have this selfish mind. Where is Buddha nature? I am inseparable with all these negative emotions every single day. Wake up in the morning, follow my thoughts, these memories, and then think about imaginations and the future. So how do I know that there is a Buddha nature? Right? Actually, if you don't know what is Buddha nature, then you just create something. This deity, that's not real deity practice, I think. So you have to know the Buddha nature, but many people don't know Buddha nature. So the short answer is, as I said, you have to empty your mind from all of this selfish garbage in order to recognize Buddha nature. And you have to stop the selfish sort of mental, what do you call it, recordings of all this nonsense. Because your brain and minds are limited. If you have all these ideas and pictures of yourself out of selfish mind, then your brain and mind are so limited. So then there is no room for to recognize Buddha nature when your mind is not free from thoughts and emotions. When your mind is free and empty, then it's possible to see, it's possible to recognize your own Buddha nature. So just to remind you, when you practice, try to practice a daily, accomplished Tārā practice, you need to forget yourself as an ordinary being who has this selfish mind, instead of try to become a deity. That's how you stop. That's how you reduce your thoughts, negative emotions. Okay, so now I'm going to start the prayer. I hope you all have the text, the prayer that Colin, I think, sent out yesterday, all of you. If you have that text, the prayer, I'm going to read first, then I will explain you a little bit about. So the prayer says, let me see, Aspiration Prayer from the Wishful from Joel, Sādhana of Yeshe Tsogyal as Noble Tārā, revealed by Ratna Lingpa. Okay, that's the title. But it says, may this be accomplished, compassionate and noble Tārā, through the power and blessings of this practice of approach and accomplishment. Offerings and praises and prayers made to you, Noble Tārā, from this moment on until we reach awakening, may we never be separate from you, Noble Tārā. Okay, let's stop there. The prayer starts with syllable, you know that, right? Has lots of different meaning. In Sanskrit and in Tibetan language, it has a lot of different meaning, and it's also very important syllable. But is basically easy way to understand and explain its meaning is invoking spaciousness and peace. When you chant a prayer, like prayer start with mantras, almost every mantra start with So means like as soon as you say Tare, so Tara's mantra start with Mani Padme Hum, start. That's you have to just relax, try to relax your mind and body and just reminds you, this is a reminder, is reminder, peace. And also represent the body, speech, and mind of Tārā in this case, and the body, speech, and mind of the individual who is saying the prayer as well. So I'm not going to talk about more detail, but is that. So, and then the prayer says, may this be accomplished. That's the thing, that's the question. What do we need to accomplish here? We need to accomplish compassionate Tārā, Noble Tārā, deity. That means actually we need to understand that our own mind is Tārā. As I said just a moment ago, basically, daily practice is just try to practice our own nature, basic Buddha nature. That's the reality. There's no such thing as a deity outside of us, actually. But we, ordinary people, we really like sort of symbols and images and pictures. And we really like to have this kind of relative, I would say, relative objects, something that is tangible, That's why, we can visualize Tārā, a female Buddha. If you really don't know about Buddha nature, then it's okay. You can visualize Tārā. That's how the prayer says, right? So we have to accomplish Noble Tārā. So how do we accomplish Noble Tārā? Through the Tārā practice, right? It says here, practice of approach and accomplishment. Approach in Tibetan Hin, and accomplishment is dip. Hin dip. So you are trying to recognize the Buddha nature, try to recognize the nature of that deity, try to find out, your own Buddha nature. That's how you approach in the accomplishment. And then also, of course, if you like this relative object, then offerings, and also saying, like priests and prayers and mantras and all of that made to Tārā, so that, that is how you accomplish Noble Tārā, right? So once you accomplish Tārā, then we'll be able to stop our negative thoughts. As I said, this mental recordings of all the harmful actions. Whatever moves in our mind, whatever we think, whatever, kind of disturbing emotions we feel, when you accomplish daily practice, all of this has no essence, but it's empty. And if we will be able to see that truth, that is how we accomplish Tārā. Buddhism, right? Buddhism. What does Buddhism mean? Buddhism is somebody who tries to understand inside. That's exactly what that means. Not too much looking outside, but inside. Try to find the nature of that. That's the truth. That's how we accomplish Tārā. And then through the power and blessings of this practice, we will be able to free our minds from all these thoughts and emotions and all this, nonsense. That is what we call practice of meditation. That is how we accomplish a deity. That's important to understand, right? Otherwise, it's just you create something out of your selfish mind. Then there is no really real connection because you are far away from the truth. Then this sort of whatever your object you are creating is out of selfish, then there is no blessing. But if you do this right practice Tara or deity, maybe, after Tara practice, if you feel, these are the signs, good signs, I will tell you. When you practice Tara, try to understand yourself, try to understand, the truth. And then if you feel that you have little bit sort of increased your compassion, your love, and less thoughts, very humble, that is an achievement sign. If you feel that there is a connection when you practice Tara's prayer or Tara's mantra, that is an achievement sign. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes people say, but there's no connection. You feel nothing, right? That means you are not there yet. But sometimes you say prayers and taras, there is a something you really don't know exactly, like you really don't know, explain, but there is a something, like you are very emotional, very like sensitive, you can feel something. That happens, right? That is achievement sign. That is also you are almost about sort of receiving blessings. That's very important. You feel that, very important. Have you feel that when you practice Tara or any other deity? The blessings very important. Blessings have a feeling, right? Blessings are real. That's why we need to connect to Tara deeply, and we need to receive the blessings. Very important. And this is also what we need to understand. Tara is, it says in this prayer, right? Tara is inseparable from her prayer, her mantra. Mantra is Tara. Prayer is Tara. Tara is prayer. Tara is mantra. Do you really know what does that mantra means? I'm not going to talk about that right now, but there's inseparable. That's why these prayers, mantras are powerful. But if you separate, and then this bunch of words put together, what is there is no value. It has, it has no value. But if you feel like when you practice Tara and say these prayers and say these mantras, you feel like, oh, Tara is mantra, mantra is, then there is something. So when we practice her prayers, her mantra, and put them into our mind, in our brain, then whatever we stay, we are never, it says, we're never apart from her. Tara manifests in us if we chant her mantra, her prayer, inseparably from our mind. That is what this prayer says, right? From this moment, the prayer says, from this moment on, until we reach awakening, may we never be separate from you, Noble Tārā. What will happen until we, it says like until we reach awakening. Once we reach awakening, then Tara what? Disappear? What does that mean? That means when you reach awakening, you become Tara, you become a Tara. But until you reach awakening, you are not Tara yet. So then we say prayers, please Tara, you're not separate. Don't leave me. With me all the time. But you have to understand what does that mean. The problem is if we practice Tārā and ourselves are two different individuals, then we are separate. And then these two individuals cannot merge as one. Right? Otherwise, when you practice Tārā inseparably from your nature mind, that's also we call it Guru Yoga practice. You merge as one. But if you separate, oh, Tārā is different individual, me is like different, then how do you like actually, there's no way to merge as one. But if you understand that truth, then that's what this merge means, right? Merge as one. So don't make separations. So if we recognize the nature of our mind is not different than Tārā, then we are never separate from her. And the prayer and mantra recitation are usually combined with visualizations. That's also, I want to talk a little bit about the visualization. It's very important. Because when you say recite the mantra, recite the prayers, not just that, it combined with, they combined with the visualization. Visualization, what is visualization? Visualizations are a great method to continuously remain as a deity. So that we, the practitioners, will forget, themselves as an ordinary selfish being. That's why visualization is a good method. When you practice like this and with the visualizations and you develop that, and when your mind is more stable with visualization, right? Like when you really like, there are two ways. One is like usually like when you practice Tārā, you visualize Tārā yourself as a Tārā, or you can visualize Tārā in front of you. Doesn't matter. So when you have this kind of visualizations in your mind, at the same time, I mean, you don't have any other sort of these selfish, negative emotions. It's just you are thinking. If you are there, if you are living in present moment, then you are visualizing Tārā, then the other emotions not there. That's the method. And when your mind is more stable with the visualizations, then you will be able to do the Jeram visualizations as you chant the prayer. Jeram means Tibetan, right? Jit means like create or develop or cultivate, generate and grow, whatever. That's what Jit, Tibetan Jit, or Jit means that. And Rim means stages. So Jeram means development stages, as they translate into English. So that's when you practice Tārā, you need this development stage, Jeram, right? Jeram, Utpadi Karama in Sanskrit, Jeram. Jeram is basically a great method for you to remember yourself as a deity. So then what? Then the other sort of your mental image, all these memories and thoughts and stuff while you're doing Jeram practice. Then you do that more and more and more, and then your mind is more stable with the Jeram, the visualization. That's how you reduce. That's how you make your mind empty from all this negative sense, the emotions. And Jeram also, helps that to maintain your body, speech, and mind as the body, speech, and mind of the deity. So you're going to practice like that, and you're going to develop that's what we call hi ngarjer in Tibet, means like confident, confidence of being the deity. Sometimes you feel like you are a Tārā. If you develop that more and more, it will happen. I mean, that's possible. Then you have no negative thoughts. As long as you maintain your body, speech, and mind as the body, speech, and mind of the deity. So you remember yourself not just as an ordinary selfish being, but rather you maintain yourself as a deity through the Cherem method or technique, So then you will be able to stop your thoughts, these mental recordings of past and future thoughts, when you maintain yourself as a deity. And you will be able to make the self-visualization more clear. Through that, you will be able to see your mind more clear and deeply, so that you will be able to spend time during the prayer, the mantra recitation, without any distractions. That Cherem, the visualizations, help, right? Lots of Westerners have problem with the visualization. Why am I visualize green Tārā? I don't like that color, green Tārā, right? Then you are actually, basically, you don't understand what deity means, what Tārā means. If you just focus only outside, right there, you are not there. Then you have lots of this dislikes and distractions like that. But if you recite the prayer, the mantra, with your sort of clear, visualizations, and deeply, then you'll be able to reduce and without any distractions. But if you recite the prayer mantra with distractions, usually we do, right? When you practice Tārā, you say the mantras, but you're thinking something else. That's what we call distraction or obstacles. Then there will be no such thing as accomplishment. And this Tārā prayer says accomplishment, right? But then there is no complete. Tārā is real. I mean, the great master Atisha, by the way, I'm going to teach one of the most famous and important teaching, mind training teaching. I'm going to teach next month, I think. So Atisha, anyway, had a vision of Tārā at the age of 11. And Atisha came from India, right? You know that. So he practiced Tārā throughout his life. And when I will talk more about Atisha, it's beautiful history, but when Atisha was invited to Tibet, he prayed to Tārā about whether he should go to Tibet or not. And then he prayed Tārā, and Tārā appeared to him in his dream and said that if you go to Tibet, you will be tremendous benefit, Tibetans, but you will have a short life. And then he thought, if there's a lot of benefit, go to Tibet, then I don't care about the short life. So he went to Tibet and he died in Tibet. So what I'm saying is like that if you practice Tara correctly, I really believe she will come. Maybe you have a vision of her, or at least in your dream. That's something really good sign, I think. Because Buddha said that the moon in the sky can reflect anywhere under the right conditions. So if you have a good connection with Tara, I think it will be really possible to have a pure vision of Tara, or at least you have some connection in dream or whatever. My grandfather recited the 21 Tara prayer every day, many times, every day. And his devotion and faith in Tara was amazing and unchangeable. One day he found a beautiful Tara statue on the rock. When he passed away, he gave to me. I think that was a very good sign. Anyway, that's that. The next prayer is, it says, may we have good health and long life, and may our good fortune and wealth increase. May there be no obstacles to our completion of awakening, and may we perfect the qualities of the path and bhumis. May we attain omniscience and complete enlightenment, spontaneously benefiting ourselves and others. Okay. Now here, this is very important. For each of us, I think the most important matter in our life is to have a long and healthy life. Because no matter what we want to achieve, whether it would be success in ordinary world, whether it would be success in the spiritual liberation, the Dharma practice, a healthy and long life is essential, right? If you don't have that, you can't do any of that. You have a mind, have a body, and if you don't look after them, you will end up getting sick and suffering from illness. You can't do anything. Therefore, the prayer says, may we have good health and long life, and may our good fortune and wealth increase. These are very important in our life. If you are a healthy person, then you can make your wealth and fortune develops and increase. If you like that. We all like that, right? Good fortune, wealth, we have to increase all of that. But if you're not a healthy person, you cannot increase all of that. So this prayer, when you recite this prayer, right? May we have a good health and long life. May our good fortune and wealth increase. The prayer reminds you to think and take good care of your life. When you recite it, you remember, I need, for instance, I need to, eat healthy food. I need to do whatever it takes, my body and mind become healthy, doing the yoga, exercise, then practice, all of that, right? So that's the prayer. Prayer reminds you to take care of your body and mind. That's the benefit of reciting the prayer. Prayer really can take care of your body and mind healthy? No, but through the prayer, you will remember that it is important to take care of your life so that you eat good, healthy food and do things like that. Now, let's say when you are healthy and you have a long life, good fortune and wealth, that's great, right? That's most people want it. That's great. But if there is a lack of mental awakening, mental quality, then whatever you have, everything becomes very, very personal. Then the problem begins, conflict begins. It brings jealousy, brings anxiety, worry, and there is always fear in our minds. Fear of losing, fear of not enough, fear of hurt, fear of failure, fear of death, fear of uncertainty, fear of so many things. And it will grow more and more. Every human being on this world goes through fear. Look what is happening. So it causes a great deal of harm if there is no peace and freedom in our mind. Even though you are healthy, you increase your fortune, wealth, everything like that. But the mental, if you are lack of the mental awakening, it's the prayers use the awakening, right? The mental quality, then all these things will happen. Fear, then we go through all of that. So it causes lots of problems. And if there is a fear, we're not totally free, no matter what we have. But then, once we are healthy, long life, these things, we have a really great chance to practice and achieve total awakening. That's why this teaching, this practice of meditation is about how to make a healthy mind. Because healthy mind, right, create a healthy life. That's why the prayer says, may there be no obstacles to our completion awakening. Awakening, this is the most important word, awakening. May we swiftly perfect the qualities of the path and bhumis. May we attain omniscient and complete enlightenment, spontaneously benefit ourselves, others. So here, may there be no obstacles to our completion awakening, right? Here we're talking about obstacles. Obstacles. We normally develop all kinds of obstacles and confusion if we become involved with negative actions. That creates a lot of obstacles. A lot of obstacles. Every single day in our lives, there are problems. When we, wake up in the morning, we start to follow our thoughts, right? We are sort of living in past or living in the future, not present, future. Think about the memories, think about we bring all those thoughts that something happened in the past, we think about as soon as when we wake up in the morning, we think of that, or we think of imagination in the future. If I do this, what will happen? If I do this, this and this and this. So we make all this nonsense sort of plans, and, confusion. And by following these selfish thoughts, we create lots of distractions in our day-to-day life. And then when we encounter obstacles, we continuously look for some kind of solution from outside. Or we try to escape from it. Oh, I have this problem. I'm angry. I want to control my anger. No way. You cannot control your anger. That's not how you reduce your anger. But, or I'm angry. I want to escape from this. That's how we do, but that's really wrong, I think, my perspective. How to solve these problems. We're trying to sort of when we have obstacles, we try to escape from it, or we try to look some kind of solution from outside. And the process of doing that, we get into all kinds of situations, and then we get frustrated with those situations. Then obstacles after obstacles like that. And we don't pay good attention to the inside of our mind. There's no mindfulness. We just get sort of completely carried away by all kinds of emotions. And we experience the continuous frustration of not being able to find a peace and solution and relaxation from everything outside of ourselves. You see, all of this make us unable to practice real Dharma. All of these obstacles and distractions make us unable to achieve a completion awakening because of obstacles. So when we start to practice meditation, freedom and relaxation are not there. What we have when we start practicing meditation, distractions, obstacles, thoughts and all of that, but we don't have the relaxation. Then meditation can be great only when there is a freedom and relaxation in our mind. When you are capable of observing and relaxing, that brings freedom in your mind. And that freedom can open the door to the truth. That's what we talked about just a moment ago, that truth. Relaxation first, then freedom comes next. Then the freedom opens the door to the truth. Then you discover your life. And to discover that truth is what we call in Tibetan Changchip, meaning awakening. This prayer says, right? Awakening or enlightenment. That's why Tārā practice can help us overcome obstacle and to a completion awakening. Beautiful. That's the last, the prayer. That's the thing. There are lots of like healthy, long life. All of these are really good condition in order to achieve and a completion awakening. And at the same time, we need to know how to practice, how to accomplish an awakening without obstacles, okay? Or obstacles or distraction. So the whole prayer, this prayer, if you practice Tārā, prayer says, help us, overcome obstacles. Again, you have to keep in your mind just over the time. No rush yourself. Don't push into rush. Just over time, you will be able to overcome obstacles over the time, you will be able to accomplish an awakening. Okay? That's all. I'm going to stop here. That's all for today. And if we have a few minutes, we're going to say the Tārā prayer maybe 100 times. And then after that, we'll recite this prayer by the Ratna Lingpa, the Teja prayer one time. And then we're going to finish closing prayers. I'm very, it's wonderful to, have this opportunity and see all of you. It feels like long time ago, but it's and also wishing you and your family and Dharma brothers, sisters, a wonderful, happy and healthy Christmas. And what else? Then New Year, right? The best wishes for New Year 2022. I hope, this situation disappear soon so that we have a beautiful, wonderful, happy, healthy life. That's my wish for all of you. And thank you for coming. So now I'm going to stop there and say the Tārā prayers 100 times. Please correct your motivation. And then, as I said, when you recite the Tārā mantra, you have to understand Tārā is inseparable from the mantra. Mantra is Tārā. And then also you can visualize yourself as a deity so that you will going to forget as an ordinary being, selfish person, so that you develop this good karma, So then you accomplished slowly, a deity and then awakening. All of that will possible. That's all. Tare 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 soha, 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 tare tare Dare 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 soha, 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 dare 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 soha. Dare 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 soha, 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 dare 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 soha, dare 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 soha, dare 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 soha, dare 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 soha, dare 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 soha, 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 dare 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 soha, 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 dare 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 so dare dare soha, dare 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 soha, 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 dare 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 so ha 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 dare dare soha 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 dare dare soha.
Aspiration Prayer from the Wish-Fulfilling Jewel, a Sādhana of Yeshe Tsogyal as Noble Tārā. Om, may this be accomplished, compassionate Noble Tārā, through the power and blessings of this practice of approach and accomplishment, offerings and praise and prayers made to you, Noble Tārā. From this moment on until we reach awakening, may we never be separated from you, Noble Tārā. May we have good health and long life, and may our good fortune and wealth increase. May there be no obstacles to our accomplishing awakening, and may we swiftly perfect the qualities of the paths and bhumis. May we attain omniscience and complete enlightenment, spontaneously benefiting ourselves and others. Closing prayers. May I attain in each and every life the sublime virtues of existence and peace. May I pursue the flawless mindset of altruism, working for the welfare of others on a vast scale. Through this very merit of mine, may every single sentient being eliminate all forms of negativity and practice virtue forevermore. May supreme precious bodhicitta take birth where it has not arisen. Where it has arisen, may it never wane, but continue to grow forevermore. For as long as space exists, for as long as beings endure, until then may I too remain to dispel the suffering of all beings. May I in all my lives, no matter where I am born, obtain the 7 qualities of the upper realms of existence. May I meet the Dharma immediately after taking birth and have the freedom to practice perfectly. May I please the sublime gurus and day and night dedicate myself to the Dharma. By realizing the Dharma and practicing its innermost essence, may I cross the ocean of conditioned existence in this very life. May I teach the sublime Dharma perfectly and never become weary and tired of benefiting others in samsara. By my own impartial and all-encompassing activities to benefit others, may all attain enlightenment together.